Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome, welcome. It's time for Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. It's a beautiful day here in northern Colorado. No wind. The sun is out. It is a little cool, but it's a warmer than it was yesterday. So I got no complaints. Look at me. Look at me. I got no complaints today. Would you know it? I want to thank you for reaching out. I had great response from yesterday's show. And so I got your texts and I even got to talk to some people. And I'm so glad we're aligned on a lot of this stuff. You know, you have no idea. You really have no idea how encouraging you all are to me. And how much that helps to know, that there are other people out there seeing what I'm seeing, and that, we can say, I don't quite understand what's going out there, but I know something's not right. And so we're making that connection. And so I just want to say thank you so much for the encouragement on the text line and taking time out even to give me a call and talk about it, because it helps so much. So thank you so much. I have got a great show for you today. Oh, yeah, it's a gooder. I'm probably going to say some things. I'm warning you up front. I'm probably going to say some things. But, somebody's got to point it out. because I think we're getting into some dangerous territory here. And we have this strange culture right now where our kindness, our diversity, our our welcoming, our good nature, all the things that kind of define us as Americans, it's kind of been weaponized against us for quite a long time now. And, I feel like, and I can only speak for myself, but, I connect with a lot of Gen Xers and stuff. And I feel like the Gen Xers have kind of seen this coming. Like, we're all very, nice and, hey, man, do what you want to do with your life and all that. But also, you're getting weird here. It's just getting weird. It's getting real weird, and it's not okay. And, the generations that are beneath us, like millennials and Z and all of those, it's kind of like they just don't seem to be maybe, and of course I'm not generalizing here. I'm just saying as a whole, right? I know there's some fantastic millennials, fantastic Gen Zs. I mean, I've got a couple Gen Zs for kids. I know that they're not like this, but there was a concerted effort through education system and, the anti-bully movement and all of that stuff. And they really pushed it to make sure that everybody was kind, Kindness was weaponized. And so as a result of that, I see it, and maybe you do too, that people aren't actually responding appropriately to things. Like we've seen it on subways, right? With a woman's getting harassed, like, there's like danger, danger, danger. And people are like, looking at it and filming, and that's weird. That's weird. That's not the appropriate response, right? When you see a fellow citizen getting harassed and there's like a crime is about to take place, you grab the other citizens and you go, hey, what's going on here? Right? That's not happening. And I think it's directly because people are afraid to intervene. And there's a couple of reasons why they're afraid to intervene. One is lawfare, right? I mean, for men especially, it's like, well, I can't even help her because if I help her, I'm going to end up in jail, right? Because we've seen that before. The person who intervenes and actually, subdues the attacker or whatever, they end up in trouble. Like it's total upside down world, right? So I think that makes people hesitant. And I also think the race card makes people hesitant. Like, if I do anything here, I might get accused of being a racist because, there's too many races involved in this scenario and I don't know what to do. I think that keeps people from responding when things are going haywire as well. And so we have to kind of come back to common sense. We have to be, first of all, who really cares anymore? I mean, racist, Nazi, misogynist, homophobe, transphobe. Like, do you really care? Because I don't. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Most of the time, the people throwing around those insults couldn't define it for you. They actually could not define a Nazi for you if you asked them. They could not define a misogynist if you asked them. They would, well, right? They don't know. They don't know. And so those words were pumped out in another effort, another campaign to divide the population here in our country. And so who cares? Who cares? We have to call a spade, if you will, and this is going to become increasingly important, like really, really important, because we've had this huge influx of immigration, and a lot of these people are coming from, what am I trying to say? Well, they're Muslims. Like, what am I talking about here? The Middle East. There we go. Goodness. So they're Muslims, and the Muslim religion in its whole form, is not conducive with the Western world. And here we are, with a bunch of people who have been conditioned to be inclusive and don't be an Islamophobe and don't, love everybody. And yes, and they got no freaking clue what this religion actually is. And because once you take just even a little bit of time to learn about it, you understand we can't do this here. These two things do not mix. Western world, freedom of religion. That religion doesn't work here because it doesn't actually allow for freedom of religion. It's in its tenets to convert people. Don't take my word for it. I've been studying a lot of Raymond Abraham's work. He's Egyptian American. He's American citizen, but his parents were born in Egypt, and this has been his life's work to study Islam. And so, don't take my word for it. Go do the work and really understand this. Not because you want. It's a necessity. It's now a necessity because your borders have been wide open and these people have been allowed to flood into your country. It's now a necessity. And you don't need to look any further than the UK to understand where this is headed. Okay? So it's actually a necessity now. You got to learn a little bit about it. I'm not saying you got to get a PhD in it, but you got to understand it. Because you're going to need to push back on this. And obviously, I'm not talking about violence here. I'm talking about education. So when your peers say, don't be an Islamophobe, go, nope. What do you know about it? What do you know about it? Did you know they're doing this? Did you know this is Sharia law? Do you know what happens here? Like, let's have a discussion about this because you can't just, put yourself under the umbrella of kindness at the cost of your daughters and your country. And just like, yeah, I'm being kind. I'm inclusive. No. Nope. Not going to happen. And so today I want to share with you, I'm going to play a clip here out of Michigan. We'll play one before the break and then we'll do the other one after the break. But this is a news story, okay, out of Michigan. And so when your friends go, that's ridiculous, they're moderates and, it's moderate. And of course they don't practice Sharia law and they just, Nope. Go back to the books. Watch this.
Medical procedure on young girls. The procedure, referred to by prosecutors as female genital mutilation, was allegedly performed at a clinic in Livonia. And now the man whose name is on the front of that clinic was charged in connection with the case. Sean Lay is live with the very latest on charges against this second doctor and his wife. Sean.
That is correct. All three, two doctors and a wife, all charged now in this very troubling case. The FBI says the evidence here is mounting. They are relying on some security camera footage, some taped phone conversations, and the testimony from two very young girls who say they were taken to that clinic where they experienced unthinkable pain.
It's classic game playing by the government, charging them on a Friday, knowing that they'd spend the weekend in custody, and then we'd have a detention hearing next week. So no, I'm not surprised that the government would pull that sort of stunt.
The attorney for Dr. Fakhruddin Attar is upset that he and his wife were arrested today and now have to be held in jail until a detention hearing can be held next week. But it will be in that hearing when more will be presented about religion, culture, tradition versus federal law that prohibits the cutting of the genitals of young girls to keep them from being sexually active later in life.
I think on Wednesday you might learn a little bit more. But they do have a very strong religious belief.
The charges are disturbing that the doctor allegedly conspired with respected Henry Ford emergency room doctor Jumana Nagrawala to bring the girls in from Minnesota, where female genital mutilation is against state law, to the Attar's office in Livonia, where there is not a state law on the books against the practice here in Michigan. The FBI alleges that the girls' genitals were cut by Nagrawala, with Attar and his wife assisting. The lawyer for Dr. Nagrawala says only skin was removed in what he calls a Shia Muslim religious practice. Federal investigators say 2 7-year-olds suffered pain, cuts, and scarring from the procedure.
Is that okay with you? Is that okay with you? We're talking about mutilating 7 and 8-year-old girls. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with the Western world? Is that just freedom of religion? I think it's, if that's what you have built your country on, and the basis of your country is Sharia law, then, okay, practice that in your country. I think it's absolutely disgusting. I think it's disgusting. And I think we should keep our legal immigration open to any woman who wants to flee those countries. Absolutely. But where are they going to flee to if we here in the United States of America allow this practice? Where are they going to come to? Yeah, it's all about kindness though, right? Tolerance, acceptance. Let's see where that gets us. You're going to see when we come back after this break. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Did you know that Naturally Inspired Radio streams all over the place? 100 platforms, video, podcasts, social media. All you got to do on your favorite platform is search Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio, because we are everywhere. Believe it, we are everywhere that you listen, watch, and connect. When you find us, if you would like our posts, if you would make sure you follow the channel, right? So what do they say? Smash that follow button. So, smash that follow button. Smash that like thing. Whatever. I tell you, I'm an analog girl living in a digital world, people. It's not even in my dialect. Anyway, leave a comment, and don't forget to visit naturalinspiredradio.com anytime for the full list of where we're featured online and on radio. Okay, let's get back into this discussion, shall we? I got to mention something I wasn't going to. I was telling myself, nah, shut up about that. Don't bring that up. But I'm gonna bring it up. Because I'm a big fan of the UFC. Big fan of the UFC. I love watching the UFC. My son practices, at a fighting gym. So we follow it. We love it. And over the weekend, I happened to see that Khabib, who is, one of the UFC former champions, he was visiting an event, and it wasn't in a Middle Eastern country. It's like maybe in a European country, I think. It was like a soccer event. And anyway, it was like ESPN American, commentators there. And there were some men, and then there was one woman. And Khabib is a Muslim. And he, the guys were like, hey, Khabib. And, it's all this camaraderie and shaking hands. And the woman commentator put out her hand to shake his. And he very clearly would not shake her hand. Right. And she apologized. Oh, I'm sorry. Which that didn't sit very good with me. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing apologizing? And there was a lot of comments on it, and I get it. It's like, well, that's his religion. And, it's an honor thing. It's an honor thing. It's actually like about humility and making you so like he wouldn't be tempted by your beauty or whatever. So it's like, it's actually an honor. Like, I don't care how you dice it. You can do all your mental gymnastics that you want to. It is not conducive in the Western world. I don't care how you explain it away. The UFC goes to these Middle Eastern countries, and these countries don't even allow women to attend these events. Okay? Whatever. You're a free business. Like, I love it. Like, I love Dana White. I love all that. That's wonderful. But don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted, because this is a form of normalizing this behavior in the Western world. And it's not normal for the Western world. So I'm all for you. You go practice your freedom of religion. Okay. You do it in your country. And if I would go to the Middle East, right, I would be required to wear a hijab, right? And so if I ever went there, which chances are slim, you know what I'm saying? I would have to do that. And that would be my choice to go there and partake in the culture for that experience. So when you come to our country, we kind of expect the same thing. But here in America, for some reason, we're not allowed. When you come to our country, all of a sudden, we have to conform to your religion? No. Mm-mm. No. Okay? And I want to be very clear about that, because this stuff starts incrementally. Right? Yeah. Oh, it's okay. It's freedom of religion. It's freedom of religion. Nope. The religion here, you're free to practice whatever religion here in America, but the base religion here is Christianity. That's what the country's built on, much like your countries are built on Sharia law. You wouldn't allow an American to go there and, fly their freak flag, right? You guys don't like that. So I'm wondering why this is okay here. Check out this next clip, okay? Same news story, explains a little bit more about what's going on.
For himself, he's been an upstanding member of the medical community for years.
Both doctors have been suspended by the hospitals they were working at. There are no allegations that any of these procedures happened at those hospitals. In the meantime, when you dig deep into the court documents here, Kimberly, one of these young victims, just 7 years old, said she was in so much pain she could not walk out of that clinic in Livonia.
Last week, the Fed said hundreds of girls have had FGM performed on them, and now the bombshell in court that their mosque in Farmington Hills allegedly paid for FGM, even though in the past leaders have said they had no involvement. Dr. Jumana Nargawala was not in court today. She's facing up to life in prison, charged by the feds with performing female genital mutilation on 2 7-year-old girls brought from Minnesota. Another doctor, Fakhruddin Attar, and his wife are also charged by the feds with using his medical clinic after hours and his wife assisting. That's why the state has moved in to terminate parental rights for several families with ties to the mosque and the Duwadi Bora community based in India.
Federal prosecutors dropping their case against 2 local doctors who admittedly practiced female genital mutilation.
7 Action News has been reporting on doctors Jamarna Nargawala and Farrukhddin Attar for 2 years.
Prosecutors say they performed female genital mutilation procedures on girls here in Michigan, as well as Minnesota and Illinois, at a clinic in Livonia.
Last year, a U.S. district judge ruled that our nation's law against FGM is unconstitutional, and now federal prosecutors say they won't fight it.
It's unconstitutional under freedom of religion. So you can take a 7 or 8-year-old and mutilate their biology, their physiology in America. And that's covered under freedom of religion. But I hate to remind you of this because, there's David Koresh who was, he was a religious guy and he was trying to live his life a certain way. He wasn't even mutilating anybody. And that was a big problem. We know how that ended. So we don't generally allow that type of behavior, right? Hurting other people. It's, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Because this stuff starts slow and it builds and it builds and it builds. And we get to this point, okay? Is this where we want to go? Because if we do, then we look away from this type of stuff and we don't talk about it and we don't dare be called an Islamophobe, right? Listen to this.
Oh, I live in the borough right next to Hillingdon.
Yep.
And I moved into my house in 2019. My local shop, there's been 3 stabbings, 1 murder since then.
Wow.
My friend was murdered last year up on the high street. Girl I know was murdered in Southall Park. The government are failing us. I'm so scared for my children. I have a 22-year-old son and I'm begging him to move out of the country.
Oh my goodness, I feel for you.
What are these politicians doing to us? They're putting our children in so much danger. They're putting everyone in danger, and they're not doing nothing to help us.
And that's the thing. A lot of us feel that how many is too many?
They're pushing us to do something that we don't want to do. We are peaceful people. British people never vote against their government.
Yeah,
they're going to push us to it. Because they're not listening to us. Our friends, our family are dying. I had a cousin murdered 20 years ago who was stabbed to death and nothing has changed, Julia.
I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm sure I speak for everyone listening and watching right now. My heart goes out to you. And that's the reality.
I don't leave the house without a man.
You're that worried.
Well, everyone I know is getting stabbed. They're getting raped in parks. This is where I live, not where the politicians live.
Do you think that's part of the issue, that they don't live in the real world?
Keir Starmer, if you're listening to this, please do something. I'm petrified. I've never broken the law in my life. I've been a law-abiding citizen. I've been a civil servant.
It doesn't sound very pleasant, does it? This is a fact, okay? So, I still think a lot of people are trying to square irrational, chaotic actions of our government with why would they do that? It's like they're trying to square it in their brain. Do you think they just don't know what's going on in our neighborhoods? Gee, do you think they just didn't anticipate that this many people would come? Oh my gosh, you're a little behind here. Let me catch you up after the break. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here today. Stay tuned because we'll be right back. Just 1 minute.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations? much of it being imported or processed with additives. Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
A lot of the time, I get such nice messages from you, and people are asking how they can support the movement, because Naturally Inspired is a community that's working to change the medical model to connect people to real solutions for health so they don't feel hopeless, stuck in a broken disease care model that we're supposed to call healthcare. That ain't nothing of the such, right? It's nothing like that. So that's what we're doing here. We're doing really important work. And so a lot of times people say, I love what you're doing. I want to support you. How can I support? Did you know that we're partnered with a line of products that is 100% clean? It's tested for 2,400 different chemicals and, additives. And I use all of their stuff. And so just by becoming a member of our product line, buying things that you already buy, maybe vitamins, maybe laundry detergent, maybe, cleaners for your house. But these are all clean and they're tested for toxicity. And so it's kind of nice to have one place to shop. And then when you become a customer, you just spend $50 your first time. That gets you a membership for free to shopping on the site, kind of like Sam's, except for you don't have to renew it ever. It's a one time and you never have to renew it. You get it for free when you buy $50 worth of products. And then you can shop there at your leisure whenever you like at 15% off of retail. So we've been doing this and you have been supporting it. And it helps us get the show out every day. It helps keep us doing what we're doing, which is changing the medical model and really helping people connect to real solutions for health. So if you'd love to support us and you've been wondering how, that is how. So just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and you can see some of the products there. You can check out our cellular reset, naturallyinspiredstore.com. /reset. And that'll take you to the website, or you can just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. It'll take you to where you can get access to the products. And then you can type in and shop around and look at all the different things that you can get. All clean products. If you have any questions about it at all, just text me. 720-303-8868. But this is the way we're able to show up here every day and spread this knowledge and ultimately change the medical model for you, for our kids, for the future. We have to secure medical freedom in this country, and we need a better system for health. That is clear. I think we can all agree on that. Okay, so back to Sharia law. It is an incremental thing, that we're seeing here. Slowly, it's being normalized, right? And I think we see it, through cultural things like the UFC, holding events there. We're seeing it through the medical stuff here, where I just want to be clear, like the mandate for Islam isn't to assimilate to Western values. It's to conquer. Okay? It's to conquer. And you could say, oh, no, that's not the way it is. But the praying in the streets, the call to prayer that we're hearing in Michigan, that the praying in the streets that we're seeing shutting down traffic, the declarations of the rallies for free Palestine, does that seem like assimilation to you? Because it doesn't to me, right? Assimilation is like you come to a country and, it's freedom of religion here. So, of course, you can practice your faith in any way you see fit, but you're not intervening in the culture to the country that you moved to, right? You're not laying down your prayer mat in the middle of the street and blocking traffic so people can't get to work on time so they can make money and feed their families. You don't do that. That's actually blocking, that's non-assimilation, okay? And then making everybody else listen to your prayer call 5 times a day in a country that isn't the country's chosen religion, right? These countries built on Christian values. So what are we doing here? Because the UK took the position of, we're inclusive and we're going to invite everybody here. And now they're getting stabbed to death in their streets, and little girls that are 13 years old are getting raped. They're getting followed home. And, it's just because you don't understand, right? We don't understand their religion. We don't understand it. No, we don't understand it. No, I think I do understand it. And I think it doesn't work here. It's not going to work. Not going to work. So, so we have to have these conversations, because I'm pretty sure the British people didn't have these conversations. And because they were afraid, again, because the weaponization of words, right? You Islamophobe. Oh, you're a xenophobe. You're an Islamophobe, or, I don't care what you call me. I'm against mutilating genitalia of children. I'm against that. It isn't even a Muslim thing. It's also a trans thing. You know why? Because it's not medically ethical to do that. In the trans cases, it's not medically viable even. The benefit, there is no benefit. You sterilize somebody, it causes, you're susceptible to infection. It doesn't do what it claims to do. So no, I don't care if you feel that way or whatever. It's not a medically ethical procedure. No. Now, this other thing, based on religion or what have you, no, it's unnecessary. We don't do unnecessary things, For what? For what? You don't wait till she's 18. Wait till she's 18 and she can consent to that maybe herself. Even then, you're going to have to prove the medical necessity of it, because we don't just do surgeries with no medical, proof of the benefit. And you might be saying, well, we circumcise and I don't think we should be doing that anymore either. We're doing these things. I'm telling you, okay, call me crazy or whatever, but like literally everything is up for reexamination, because we've been operating on assumed knowledge for a really long time, and we don't even know why we do things. We don't even know why we do them. We're just like, okay, yeah, well, my doctor said, and so I do that. Now, hold up. Explain to me why you need to take a knife to my son. Explain to me why you need to inject my child. Because if the benefit doesn't outweigh the possible consequences, what are we doing? What are we doing? it's just, I don't want to be in that position. That woman's voice is, I feel it's authentic. You know, I feel that is her life that she is living. And I have seen stories, and I have kind of held back on them because I don't know, can I prove this? You know, can I prove this? I'd like to find 3 sources of things before I go blabbing my mouth about them. And, you know, I've seen stories that, you know, British kids are wearing the hijab in British schools because there are now more children wearing hijabs in the school than not. And so they're assimilating. British kids are assimilating to Islam because they feel weird because they're not doing what everybody else is doing. Like, we have influencers now, you know, you talk about paid influencers. Well, let me tell you, there are paid influencers pushing Islam. I find it ironic too, you know, that these doctors, this male doctor who's mutilating little girls, hires himself a lawyer to defend him. But she's not, you know, she's not wearing a hijab. She's not of his faith. So it's okay for him. So let me just get this right. Like, Khabib can't shake a woman's hand because it's humbling or whatever. Okay. But you can hire a lawyer that's a woman. You know, square that one for me. I don't know. You know, it is, this isn't the way for the Western world. You know, I don't care what you do in your own country. I want you to have your freedom, really. But I would ask you, if you were on the side of inclusiveness and you've got to support them and, you know, all that crazy stuff, really, that tends to be middle-aged white women. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Because where do you think these oppressed women are going to run to if Sharia law becomes a thing here? Where are they going to escape from? Are you a feminist or not? What are you? What are you? I just don't understand. You know, it's like we're feminists when we are my body, my choice, but only when it comes to abortion because you got to take the injection. And my body, my choice, but it's the freedom of religion. So their dads, their uncles can cut their clitoris out. What are you doing? I just explain it to me like I'm 5 or something because I don't get it. It's this pick and choose. Is it my body, my choice? Because if it's my body, my choice, fine. That I can get on board with. I am not injecting myself. Cool. You want to do whatever you want to your body? Well, you get to deal with your maker. We don't get to pick and choose like, oh, it's my body, my choice for this, but not for that. It's not the way it works. I hope people wake up. We got a real problem with this one. And it's all about chaos. Make no mistake about it. This is about sowing chaos. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and we'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Help us reach more people, would you? Just for giggles, I thought last night I'd try again because I was just frustrated about something. I thought I'm going to try again to try to open a Facebook account. Nope, still can't. Still can't. They got to review it for community standards. It's going to take at least 180 days. What do you think the chances are of that happening? It's probably not going to happen. Anyway, who cares, right? Let's help me grow this thing. I would love it if when you go to, say, YouTube, you search Tammy Cuthbert Garcia or Naturally Inspired Radio, and you follow the channel and you like it. And if you can share it with a friend, that's actually a great way to grow a show like this, is just through word of mouth, right? Hey, I think you might like this. She talks about some interesting things. And then share the show. That would be so incredibly helpful. Don't forget, you can learn everywhere we are at naturallyinspiredradio.com because we're on over 100 platforms. And we'd love it today if you would help us grow on YouTube. YouTube, yeah, I have to laugh because it's just such a challenge. It's such a challenge putting up with these algorithms and these platforms, Anyway, I want to thank you again for the encouragement. And today's Naturally Inspired Moment is about encouragement, because I was reminded with your encouragement just how important it is, to be encouraging. So encouragement is actually oxygen for the soul. We don't always need someone to solve our problems, right? But sometimes we just need someone to look at us and say, hey, you're doing great. You can do it. And you are doing it. Keep going. When someone says that to us, it helps lighten the load of life. Encouragement lifts us back up into the possibility form, where we're like, oh yeah, there is the possibility. It reminds us that strength builds quietly, often in the moments no one sees. And the beautiful part about it is when you give encouragement, you strengthen yourself as well. It's a two-way street. So every time you speak life into someone else, you practice hope and you reinforce resilience and you plant seeds of belief that grow in them, but they also grow in you. So those words grow in you as well as them. Because we don't rise alone, we rise together. And a word, a gesture, a prayer, a text message at the right moment can change the entire trajectory of someone's day. It's so true. So true. So choose to be an encourager. It's free. It's free. It's one of the greatest gifts that you can give, and it costs nothing. It's just about setting an intention. Every morning to our community, I send out words of encouragement, my woe. And that's the purpose of the woe, is to have you kind of set an intention for the day. So if you don't set an intention, your intention will be set for you. And a lot of times it'll be a negative intention because I don't know if you noticed, but it's kind of tough out here. Kind of tough out here in the real world. A lot of things happening that aren't so great. And so if we just let things happen, the dark is going to overcome. So you do have to set an intention every day. So here are 5 strategies to practice encouragement daily. Number 1, speak life out loud. Don't just think kind thoughts, say them. A sincere compliment can shift someone's whole day. I don't got a problem with this. I'm like queen of the cheerleaders, really, because if I see somebody and they've got a nice shirt on, or I really like their outfit or whatever, I'll just go, oh, I love your outfit. It's free. And you can see people's face change. Don't be a BSer, and be out there giving fake compliments. I'm not saying because people can tell, you know. But just be real. Like if you did notice something, don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to say it. Practice presence. Encouragement isn't always advice. Sometimes it's just showing up, listening, and being there and going, yeah, I get it. Yep. That kind of sucks. I'm with you. So just being present with somebody, you know, as they're walking through fire, as they're walking through mud, it is encouragement just to show up for them. And sometimes you got to acknowledge the mud and the fire, because if you don't, it makes them feel like you don't get it. But we've all had those moments, so of course we get it. Number 3, catch people doing something right. Notice effort. Oh gosh, I'm like ridiculous about this now, because like I will tell you, especially with customer service, right? Because customer service is practically dead, you know? You go anywhere, it's like, you know, it's funny because if I go somewhere and I'm like, can't find something, I would actually rather search every inch of the store than ask someone that works there because it's just maddening. They look at you and they just go, yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think we have that. But you know they do, you know? You just don't know where it is. So I would actually search every inch of the store before I ask somebody for help. So when they do help you, every once in a while, you'll get that kid that was raised right, you know, and is just happy and he knows what he's doing and or she's taking pride in her work or whatever. If they help you, please tell them something. Thank you so much for doing that. You're so thoughtful. Thank you. Because it's very rare. And when you notice effort and progress and goodness, it encourages them to do it more. And we all want a better, more pleasant experience in this world, right? When you're out there, you got to go out there. And it's just sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, you know? And you see this light of a person that is actually, you know, engaged. You want to grow that light. So again, be authentic, of course, but notice, you know, because it really does reinforce good behavior. Number 4, reflect that strength back to others. Reflect strength back to others. When someone doubts themselves, remind them who they are, not just what they're facing. This one's so important because we aren't our circumstances. If someone's in a valley, that's not who they are. They're just experiencing a valley. And we all have valleys. But it doesn't define you. It has nothing to do with your character. Has nothing to do with your identity. It's simply just where you're at during this part of the journey. And so help people see that wherever they are, whatever they're going through, it doesn't define who they are. Your character is separate from your circumstances. Your identity is separate from your circumstances. Number 5, pray and hold intention for others. Encouragement can be spiritual too. So bless someone quietly. They may never know it, but their spirit will feel it. And I'll tell you, I love it. I have so many of you out there praying for me and for the show and for what we're doing. And many of you send back words of encouragement to me in the morning. And I love that. You know, it's a two-way street here in the Naturally Inspired community. And I'm so grateful for that. I am so grateful for that because I'll tell you, some of the work that we do here is quite dark. You know, when people are not well and the system is predatory, it's hard to hear sometimes. And so your encouragement really, really helps. So think about that with people that you work with. Think about that with your own family members, you know, if you haven't touched base with your sister or whoever in a while, like everybody needs encouragement. And, you know, you don't have to think of an excuse doesn't have to be a reason to encourage somebody. You can simply say, I was thinking about you. And I remember, when you did this or did that, and I just thought, I just wanted to say that inspired me. Bring them to a place where you can unite on, right? Where you can be like, oh yeah, that was something we did together or whatever. And it's encouraging. It's encouraging. There's always a place of common ground. It's just a matter of trying to find it, right? Like, what common ground can we stand on here to come together? And I think encouragement is part of that. Absolutely. Right? I'm laughing kind of because I remember there was a movie a long time ago that my kids used to, I think it was an Adam Sandler movie. And in it, I think it was Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. And the kids would have to, like, if they were mean to each other, she would give them a put up, if you did something bad to one another or whatever, you say, you have to say sorry and then give them a put up. And instead of a put down. And my kids used to take that to a whole new level. They used to really twist that up, They twist that up. But we used to still laugh about it because, you know how kids are. They would twist it. But it's a powerful thing. And so when you're encouraging someone, think of it like that. It's a put up, it's common ground. The world is loud with criticism, with comparison. It's fast, like 15 seconds, I think is the amount of time that people spend scrolling. Like I think it might even be less than that. Jason probably correct me because he studies that stuff. It's like they spend like seconds and it's on to the next content. And again, I have to say, I'm worried about our higher faculties here. That kind of speed, input. When are we reflecting? People are listening to stuff. They're constant input. And so when are we reflecting? We need reflection for empathy. We need reflection for memory. We need reflection for intuition. These higher faculties that I'm always talking about, because this is the antidote to technology, to artificial intelligence. You want to know how humans are going to make it moving forward? It is going to be the people who work on their higher faculties. And that's going to be how you're going to be able to, navigate the future. Is your memory, the things that artificial intelligence machines will not be able to emulate, your humanness. And so we gotta break away from the constant algorithm, and connection is a big part of that. Encouragement, right? I mean, these stupid machines, they're even being programmed to encourage, but it's not the same. It's not the same as when a human looks you in the eyes and said, wow, you're doing great. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to go into hour 2. This is Naturally Inspired Radio, and I'm so glad you're here.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I'm so glad you're joining me here today. We've been talking about Sharia law. We've been talking about, this immigration issue that they have in the UK that we have now here in America. So bringing awareness to this, having people understand what this truly is and how this is going to impact America. It is not an accident. The seeds of chaos have been sowed. And this would be, if this thing gets too out of control, what do you think is going to happen? We got a lot of things going on right now. We still have political division. We got the left-right division. We have people that are constantly sowing seeds of a racial divide. So we got that going on. We got people on the verge of losing their EBT, right? That apparently some people are getting like $3,000 and sometimes even more. I've seen so much as like $4,800 and even $6,000. Like, it is insane. What taxpayers are paying for is insane. So that's not sitting very well. People aren't too happy about that. We also have this digital revolution happening. And what better way to roll out digital surveillance than to have people beg for it, because there's so much chaos in the country that it's not safe to be out on the streets anymore. This is happening in the UK. Okay? And Canada's next. Let me tell you, they got the same thing. Isn't it just interesting? You know, everybody's got the same problems. Everybody's got the same problems, you know? I mean, they got a land grab going on in Canada where the First Nations people, because they've been doing land declarations. So let me just vent on this one, because this one's just freaking hilarious, really. So, you know, the white people said that we're sorry, we stole your land, and we're going to say it every single time and affirm it to you. We stole your land, we stole your land, we stole your land. Every time we do a public broadcast of anything, we're going to tell you we stole your land. And when you know it, they came back and they said, well, you stole our land. Now we want it back. You know? Who could have seen that coming? You make declarations telling everybody you stole their land. And then now they're coming back and saying, yeah, we're going to reclaim our land because you stole it. And the court goes, well, yeah, you said you stole it, so I guess you stole it, and now you got to give it back. So that's happening in Canada, on top of mass immigration, where they're shutting down streets because people are praying on their carpets, Sharia law, 5 times a day or what have you. You got all this chaos going on, okay? And it's just so strange because the whole Sharia laws things happen in the UK, and now what are we seeing here in New York and Michigan? Like, come on. I know I'm such a conspiracy theorist. Like, oh, it's just crazy. Like, it's just coincidence that every country seems to be having a real problem. Yeah. So we've been talking about that so far today. And I want to get on to some news stories because at 4:30, Bob Greska's coming on. Greska C60. I always like talking to Bob. It's fun. And you're going to learn a little bit more about carbon C60 and the power of it, what it does for inflammation and what it does for detox. Detox is why I use it. So we'll learn more about that at 4:30. So let's get to our stories today because Bobby Kennedy Jr. has an interesting announcement. And I'll tell you what I think about it. Let's go to the clip first. This is about biosimilars, everybody. Biosimilars. Here it is.
Today, the FDA is taking bold, decisive action to break down these barriers and open the markets for real competition. The agency will release new draft guidance for companies developing biosimilars, guidance that reflects modern science and common sense. Under this new framework, companies may not always need to conduct large, expensive human trials when advanced testing can already prove that biosimilars work just as effectively and just as safely as the original drug. The FDA will also consolidate several outdated guidance documents into one streamlined rulebook. We're cutting unnecessary red tape, reducing uncertainty, and making it easier for innovators to bring the safe, affordable biosimilars to the market.
Now, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not an expert on, law or legislation in this manner. But like, it seems like to me that this is an effort to kind of break up the monopoly. Because this is a very monopolistic type of business. Pharmaceuticals are, got the patent on that. And once I got the patent on that, then, now we've changed it so that we can use it for something else. And now we got to reinstate, like they're hanging on to patents all the time. It's what skyrockets the cost of drugs and contributes to the whole monopoly of the healthcare system. So I don't want to judge too soon because I don't know for sure, but I find this very interesting. Okay. So biosimilars, these are medications designed to be highly similar to an already approved biologic drug. Okay. Biologics are a whole other classification. Those are your vaccines. That's your mRNA. Okay. But so these are an already approved biologic drug, but not exact copies. They are used in place of expensive biologic drugs for conditions like autoimmune diseases, cancer, inflammatory disorders. So think of them as biologic equivalent of generics, but with important differences. Biologics are produced in living systems, so slight natural variations occur. Because of this, biosimilars can't be chemically identical like generics, but they must prove no clinical meaningful difference in safety, purity, potency, effectiveness. And this requires rigorous FDA testing and clinical studies. The benefits to biosimilars are lower costs for patient and healthcare systems, increased access to life-saving biologic therapies, competition in the market. So this is a direct hit to the drug monopoly. So, I think things are moving slowly behind the scenes. Make no mistake about it. Like, Bobby Kennedy knows the issues here. He has been working, against these corporations for a long time. This stuff is very much strategy, and he's working on it. So I think this is a really good announcement and pretty exciting to see that things are moving in this direction. Now, I don't know what that means. On the other hand, I'm not pro mRNA, obviously, right? So but it's well, how could this be used later down the road? To be able to get maybe more people in the marketplace. Maybe we're moving towards some liability on biologics. I don't know, but I found it a very interesting announcement, and we should be excited about things moving in this direction, in my opinion. So next up, I got a really weird story for you. This is a weird one. So just don't judge. Okay. Don't judge. 'Cause I'm just gonna tell you what I think, and it's probably pretty weird, but I just got a feeling about this. I've had a feeling about this for quite a long time. And so I saw this clip and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I'm going to share this today. So listen to this. This is an expert on schizophrenia. And he's worked in this field for 40 years. And he's detected some patterns about schizophrenia. So take a listen to this.
Yeah, I've been at this for over 40 years, working with psychiatrists, studying the voices that schizophrenics hear, that the psychiatric mafia insists are hallucinations. And they're not. Once you really start looking into them, they run very specific, very predictable patterns, and something like 23 of them. And I can go down them real quickly. They're, anybody working in the field can see this for themselves. They don't need any highfalutin lab equipment or where they psychiatry. It wasn't psychiatry who came up with the chemical imbalance garbage. That was Eli Lilly back in the 70s when they came up with the chemical imbalance theory, because they had no explanation for what the voices were or what caused them. They had no idea. They still have no idea. But so they keep from looking like fools. They had to make up some cause. So they started with mothers. They blamed it on mothers. Then they blamed it on genetics, and they couldn't find anything on genetics. They couldn't find anything with mothers. So they came up with this chemical imbalance theory. And look at this. In order to disprove it, you need labs. You need big labs. You need experienced people and all this stuff. So they came up with it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. They just made it up out of nowhere. Just made it up. And who's going to disprove it? Not the people on the front lines, not the frontline psychiatrists, not the frontline psychologists, nobody. I mean, eventually some people in the universities who weren't under control of the psychiatric mafia started looking into it, and they could find no chemical imbalance. Matter of fact, they don't even know what the chemical balance of the brain is or should be. They just made this up out of thin air just to make it look like they had some explanation for what schizophrenia is. They've done no studies on it whatsoever. If you were to study the voices, you'd find out that they're consistently negative. They're insulting, they're abusive, they're destructive. They're anti-religious. They don't like the Bible. They don't like preachers. They don't like the 23rd Psalm. They cringe at the 23rd Psalm. They want nothing to do with religion or spirituality. They foster and create negative emotion. That's the reason why they're constantly saying rotten things to these people. You're no good.
So interesting. So hear me out. First of all, I want to say there's a great book called Brain Energy, And the doctor that wrote it is big on controlling mental illness with diet. And, we know a lot about metabolic health now. And we know that we're eating ungodly amounts of sugar. Okay, we're eating ungodly amounts of sugar. It's interesting to me that a lot of addicts, okay, so people who have been addicted to drugs, also when they have an addiction to candy. So a lot of times when they come off of drugs, they actually move to sugar, So that to me points to metabolic dysfunction. Something is not being met. I think that people reach for drugs to self-medicate when it comes to things like anxiety, depression, trauma. They're not sure how to process it. Trauma is stored in your tissue. It's a physical feeling. It's pain. Stay tuned. I'll tell you a bit more about what I think when we come back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
So listen, when you're metabolically unhealthy, a lot of things happen. And it isn't just, diabetes or, gaining weight and not being able to lose it. It's not, you aren't separate from your mind. Your body is not separate from your mind. So when you have trauma, okay, not only do you have a mental impact, right, on your behavior, the way you filter things in the world, the way you respond to things, but you have a physical response to that too. And that's one thing that we don't acknowledge in, allopathic medicine, that when someone has experienced a trauma, it isn't just like a mental impact. It's a whole body impact. You wonder why, you carry that ball of stress in your shoulder? Where'd that come from? Is it because you got an injury? Not always, right? It's actual tension that you're holding. And in traditional Chinese medicine, they would say that, that can be correlated with, mother issues at times. So we hold energy from trauma. Not only that, but, things like anxiety. If your anxiety gets so bad in the body, you want to come out of your skin. You feel like you just want to leave, like get out of this, out of the body, because it's exhausting to be anxious. So that's why people self-medicate. They just want to get that feeling out, away from that feeling. So we got to go to root cause here when it comes to things like schizophrenia. What's root cause? Why do you feel like you want to come out of your body? Why? And then you got to start looking at maybe gene mutations and detox pathways and sugar and all of these different things that impact metabolic health. And, it can't stop there, because there's this higher level of faculties that we don't even acknowledge. When someone is not mentally in a space where they're at a breaking point, right? Maybe anxiety is too high. There's a lot of dysfunction at a cellular level. Metabolic health is off. They're a bit of an open vessel, And so when you're an open vessel, and I told you before I started talking about this, like, don't judge, okay? Don't judge. But like when you are in that kind of state, especially, if you're using drugs or whatever, you're kind of an open vessel for darkness. You're out of control, right? Your consciousness is open. And we are we are electrical beings. We connect to frequency. We connect to frequency. You do. You pick up on vibes when you go into certain rooms. Like we have this higher level of sensitivity that we don't even acknowledge. Unless you've acknowledged it your whole life for some reason, and you just know that that's one of your senses, is like vibes. I went by somebody today in the store, and I said to Jason, no, something's not right there, because it was like a wave that just came over me, just like a wave of darkness, But I'm pretty tuned in to my body, and I'm pretty mindful, and so when I get a wave like that, I just let it flow off of me. But other people, they're kind of empty vessels. So when waves come, they actually connect. Do you see what I'm saying? I know that sounds weird, and a lot of people might be like, oh, that's so woo-woo or whatever. But I'm telling you, schizophrenia is not a chemical imbalance. Mental illness is not a chemical imbalance. That was a theory invented to sell pharmaceuticals for psychological conditions, for psychiatric conditions. And that's not how the body works. You don't medicate the mind. You don't medicate the heart. You don't medicate organs, right? It's a whole system. So you have to work the whole system back to homeostasis. And I'm saying we're not acknowledging some of the implications that could be going on when someone is so toxified and congested in terms of their detox pathways and whatnot, what the outcomes of that can be. We're not acknowledging that. And so we have to start moving into the real realm of biological beings here. Let me tell you, technology understands that we are frequency beings. They sure do. They want to, attach you to the Borg through sensors and, technology integration. You think they don't know that we're biological beings with electricity and frequency, and we have higher powers than what we've been led to believe? They're duplicating it. They're synthesizing it. They're synthesizing it. You already possess that ability. We just don't tap into it. We haven't worked to grow it, to understand it. It's like, imagine if you never were exposed to language. You never heard it. You weren't immersed in it, so you didn't even know it existed. You're off on some island somewhere. You wouldn't be fluent. It's the same thing here. You have to work at your intuition. You have to work at your frequency. You have to try to tap in. Like, what's happening here with my higher faculties, right? And interesting enough, a lot of people that have been through like traumatic childhoods, they have this set of skills because you have to hone it when you grow up in an abusive household, because you don't know what's going on. You're looking for every clue. You're looking for every nuance. You're looking for a tone of voice. You're looking for something because it becomes a pattern for you, and you know when troubles are starting. So people who have been through abuse and trauma often are very good at intuition. And it isn't a psychic ability, that you channel from angels or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's the brain's ability to detect patterns quickly, tone of voice. It's like you have a filing cabinet in your mind, so to speak, and you've seen this before. And every time you've seen it, another paper goes in that filing cabinet. Oh, I've seen that before. I've seen that before. I've seen that before. To the point where now your filing cabinets get big. And so every time you see the gesture, the eye movement, maybe even, it can be the subtlest things. It can be the subtlest things. I've seen that before. Where have I seen that before? The brain goes, you've seen it before explosive behavior. You've seen it before someone lies to you. You've seen it before, this person's going to laugh. You've seen it before. And that's where people draw their intuition from. And so those are the higher faculties that we have to actually be conscious of. Like, start noticing someone's, face before they talk about something or express anger. Like, you'll begin to see it when you're mindful of it. It's like that guy, I don't remember his name. I think he's called the mentalist or whatever. And everyone's like, how does he know that? Is he psychic or whatever? He has become an expert at detecting patterns to the point where he can look at your face and be like, know that you're thinking of the number 8. That's how he's doing it. He's not reading your mind. He's asking you questions and he's building your patterns of your face. He's really good at it, but that is what he's doing. And we've all done it. If you do it, you just haven't been conscious about yourself doing it. Once you figure that out, and especially if you consider yourself an intuitive person, and you don't really know why, you just think like, oh, I'm an intuitive person. I guarantee you got some trauma in your background. I guarantee there was a necessity for you to dial in to the littlest things, and you started building that filing cabinet. Because that's how it works. So we don't even acknowledge that in our society, that we have that ability. So how are we going to understand schizophrenia? How are we going to understand? They're just medicating it. You don't understand it, You start bringing some of this higher faculty stuff into understanding this, working with people's metabolic function, we'll get a lot closer to understanding this. I'm not saying this is, I understand the whole thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I think this is a path, because the drugs ain't doing it. They're just turning people into zombies. Really quick, we're gonna go to this last clip on sugar, real fast. Do we have enough time for that, Jason? Perfect. Let's hit it because I want to hit that before Bob comes on.
Doctors gave me 3 months to live because of widespread metastatic cancer in my skeletal structure. 3 months. 3 different doctors told me that same thing.
Then Fred heard about a low-sugar diet called the ketogenic diet, believed to slow cancer in some people. With nothing to lose, he gave it a try, and to his astonishment, it worked.
And the cancer was gone. Completely.
The ketogenic diet means no sugar and no starchy carbohydrates like bread and pasta that convert to sugar. Cancer cells love sugar and starch because cancer thrives on the glucose from those foods. Remove the glucose and starve the cancer cells. Glucose also fuels our healthy cells, but if it's not there, those cells can switch to an alternate fuel source called ketone bodies. Cancer cells only run on glucose.
Your normal cells have the metabolic flexibility to adapt from using glucose to using ketone bodies. But cancer cells lack this metabolic flexibility. So we can exploit that.
Okay, I want to preface this. I'm not saying that the keto diet is the answer to cancer, 100%. Okay, I'm not saying that. What I am saying, I think there's a lot of value here. And I personally believe that cancer is a metabolic disease. It is the way your body is processing fuel that leads to dis-ease like this. And I think we need more research on the ketogenic diet. It's not a one-size-fits-all, but I think it's the way. It is the path. It is the path forward to understanding cancer, understanding sugar, and the impact that can have. Look at the different ways that sugar expresses itself in our bodies. We get sticky blood from insulin resistance that leads to heart issues, that leads to, clotting, and it leads to, weight gain, which we know leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to disease. Okay, so we got that going on. Some people express in the way of mental illness. Some people express in the way of dis-ease, chronic disease like cancer. That's the thing. We're all individuals, and we express things differently through signals, communication. Stay tuned. I think Bob Gruska is going to be joining us after this. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code Tammy at checkout for a special discount.
Okay, we're back. Bob hasn't joined us yet, so we'll just carry on a little bit here, I think. What I'm saying is cellular dysfunction, right? Cellular dysfunction is the root of all disease. The question is, what are we putting into our body that is creating cellular dysfunction? We get the thing about these labels, schizophrenia. Oh my gosh, that's freaky, right? A label like that's freaky. Cancer. Oh my gosh. People started calling it the C word. We're so afraid of it. Don't even want to say it because it's so terrifying. And the truth is, okay, yeah, we got these labels, but also it all is just cellular dysfunction. It's just dysfunction in the body. So and not only that, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the body is designed to thrive and to be healthy. It's in your DNA. Survival. That's why you store fat, because it's trying to survive. It's always looking out for the best for you. So something's getting the wires crossed here. Something that the information that we're putting into the body via food, medication, hydration, what have you. So that communication is getting crossed somehow. And our job is to decipher that communication and try to calm everything down and get back to where the body wants to be, which is homeostasis. So I think Sam is actually going to join us. It sounds like Bob must be a little busy today. So Sam from Greska C60 is going to be joining us here in a minute. Really quick, I think what I'll do is do we have Sam right on, Jason, or should I run through signs of my health topic here? You just give me a thumbs up in the chat there so I know what to do. Oh, okay. Let's go real quick then. So I wanted to hit today's health topic because I've had a lot of questions about CoQ10, a lot of questions. So I'm going to go through real fast here. So here are signs of low CoQ10. Okay. Low energy and fatigue. CoQ10 is required for ATP, so your cell's energy currency. When it's low, you feel drained even after sleep. Number 2, muscle weakness or cramping. Mitochondria in muscle cells rely heavily on CoQ10, and low levels can lead to soreness, cramps, and exercise intolerance. Number 3, brain fog and memory issues. The brain burns through massive energy. Low CoQ10 may show up as forgetfulness, slowed thinking, or brain fog. Number 4, shortness of breath during activity. Heart and lungs need energy to pump and exchange oxygen. Low CoQ10 can make everyday tasks feel harder. Headaches or migraines. Research links CoQ10 deficiency with mitochondrial dysfunction in the brain, a migraine trigger. Also, heart palpitations or blood pressure issues. CoQ10 supports heart muscle contraction and vascular tone. Deficiency may show up as irregular heartbeat or elevated BP. Poor exercise recovery, slow recovery, depleted CoQ10 as well. So what are the causes, right? What are the causes? What causes low CoQ10? Well, natural production declines after 30. Okay. It accelerates in our 50s. Statin medications deplete you of CoQ10. Statins block the same pathway that produces CoQ10. This one is one of the biggest known causes of depletion. Blood pressure and diabetes medication also deplete CoQ10. Certain beta blockers and diabetes drugs can reduce CoQ10 levels. Chronic stress and inflammation. So ongoing oxidative stress burns through antioxidants like CoQ10 quickly. Mitochondrial dysfunction, any condition affecting mitochondria, increases CoQ10 demand. So you have to supplement. Nutrient deficiencies, so lack of B vitamins, lack of magnesium, or even lack of protein. I tell you, everybody's eating not enough protein. It's probably going to say that on my gravestone. Eat more protein. So it can slow your CoQ10 synthesis. So some things to keep in mind. Heart, brain, and muscle are the biggest CoQ10 users. That's why deficiency shows up in energy, brain clarity, and muscle strength first. Whole food proteins, healthy fats, you got to sleep well. Stress management, this all supports natural CoQ10 levels. CoQ10 works synergistically with omega-3s, vitamin E, and magnesium. It's an ecosystem, everybody, right? We have an ecosystem of nutrients that need to be met. So there you have it on the CoQ10. I know I've been talking to a lot of you about this. And you can go to Naturally Inspired store and just type in the search bar there for CoQ10, and our favorite brand will come up there, and you can purchase it from there. If you have any questions, 720-303-8868. I hope I answered most of your questions because I do want to get to Sam. So Sam is Bob's son. So I was going to read this little bio on Bob today because I don't think I've read it for a while. So let me go to that real fast here. Bob Greska is the inventor, the maker of Greska's C60. He was an aerospace he is an aerospace materials engineer. And then he changed his career direction from building spacecraft to health and human performance. He got interested in carbon. And he's the CEO and founder of Greska's C60, which is an incredible supplement based on carbon, which is the essence of life. Everybody's got a problem with carbon these days. I'm not sure why. But anyway, Bob was going to join us, and I think he's had to step away. So Sam, his son, is going to join us, who is heavily involved in Greska's C60 and all of the things that go on. So Sam, welcome to Naturally Inspired. How's it going? Maybe we don't have him. We do have him.
There we go. Okay. I'm in a car right now, but hopefully it looks all right.
No worries.
How are you doing, Tammy?
Doing good, doing good. I know the life of an entrepreneur is on the road, busy, 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 and things change at the drop of a dime. So I'm just glad that you could tune in with us today.
Yes, for sure. And then I actually have somebody on the line who wants to talk about her experience with C60. She met Bob in Hawaii. Before I do that, I want to make sure, do we have any breaks coming up, or do I have a little bit of time?
You have about 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Okay. All right.
So we
Jennifer,
can, do you want to bring her?
Jennifer, and she's
Okay.
from Hawaii. So Jennifer, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Here. Can you hear her well, Tammy?
Yes, perfect. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio.
Jennifer, hopefully you can hear her okay.
I can hear her, like she sounds kind of far.
Okay. Yeah, it's just because she's on cam, and you're on a phone, so it'll sound a little far away. But
Jennifer,
so I guess if you want to,
Jennifer, tell us about your experience with Greska C60.
Oh, if you want, Jennifer would just want to tell us how you met Bob and your experience with C60 so far.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I met Bob here in Hawaii, Honolulu. I'm an Uber driver. So I met him October 16th. It was a Thursday. I picked him up and he asked for a ride. So I took him to what was that? The place. It was like kind of like a place where he was going to a convention center or something. But anyway, he asked me if I had some pain. And I said, yeah, sure. So it was my knee. So he used that, I believe it's the hydrate bottle to spray.
Yep.
So he allowed me to spray my knee. And so he asked for me to pick him up that night. And I said, sure, I'll pick you up, Then he asked me after that if I would be his driver. I said, sure. So anyways, I picked him up that evening. And I was sharing with him. I said, hey, my knees feel so much better. So that night, he gave me the bottle of the drop. I'm not sure what that bottle is called.
The 45-day supply, yeah.
Yes, yes, that one. So he told me to take it the next day. I took it on Friday. That was October 17th, oral, just one time. And then without me thinking, when I first took it, he kind of explained to me what carbon 60 was about, how it helps to awaken your red blood cells, and also how it creates electrons to attack the free radicals in our body. So I was going to try because I drive and, my body would get swollen and I would have some pain. So I wasn't even really thinking about anything. So then I took it on October 17th, that was a Friday. And on Saturday, I took it again. And so later on that evening, I went to an event. And those that know me 5 years ago, I lost my hearing in both ears, 60%. And the doctor kept testing me for a couple months, and I lost the lower tone. So everything would be like muzzled. I would have a hard time hearing, or I would have to listen really good. And also I would have a lot of migraine headaches, like a lot of pressure. And that was going on for 5 years, the ringing in my ear and the humming, that I was going through. So anyway, on Saturday, October 18th, the second day, just taking it 2 days oral, my hearing opened up that night at an event. And so I was with a group of friends, and they all know about my hearing. And I told them I could hear. I could hear the people that was sitting next to me, across from me. I could even hear the people that was singing entertainment on top of the stage.
That's awesome. And that was after how many days of taking the product?
2 days.
2 days.
Only one day on Friday and 1 day on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah. And it opened up, and then after I was like, what? And so anyway, so I could start to hear, but not only that was happening, the pressure that I was getting, because when your ears are plugged, if it doesn't, I couldn't even pop my ears. Mm-hmm. It was really hard. Yeah. So I was taking Tylenol. So every time I would have a headache or my knees would hurt, I would take Tylenol. But since Bob introduced the drops to me and the spray, when my knees would hurt, I would just spray it, and I would spray it by my temples for the headache to go away. It'd be gone instantly. So it's been 2 weeks I've been on the product. So I haven't taken no Tylenol.
That's
and
great.
I've been spraying less and less. And so now it's 2 weeks. The pressure that I was feeling from my hearing, the loss of hearing, it has gone. I believe it's gone. I don't have it no more. Well, that's one. Two, the ringing in my ear that I would here and the humming, that has become softer. So it's not as loud as it was. And sometimes I would go in certain rooms and it would be like a high pitch. It would hurt my eardrums. So that
Wow.
has like, it's really coming down like it's not as loud as it
Amazing. We're going to have to go to break, but this is Jennifer talking to us about her Greska's C60 experience.
Hey, Jennifer, we gotta
and
go to
we'll
a break,
pick up.
but
We'll pick up
that's-
when we get back,
that's great
everybody.
information.
Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired
Thanks,
Radio.
Tammy.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that
Thanks a lot,
detoxing
Jennifer. That's
daily
all
can
we
help
need.
remove
Yeah,
up to
sorry, that was
70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Welcome back to Naturally Inspired Radio. We're talking to Sam Greska, and we're talking to Bob's new friend, Jennifer, in Hawaii, because Bob was in Hawaii, I think, a couple of weeks ago for a trade show. Sounds like he met somebody, Jennifer, who had an incredible experience with Greska's Carbon 60. I want to tell you, you can get Greska's C60 at c60.com. That's c60.com. If you want to know more about this story, if this is like, oh, I need to ask questions, you can call Sam or Bob at 720-600-6040. That's 720-600-6040. So let's get back to Sam and Jennifer and see if she can finish up her story there and let us know. She was using the 45. So sounds like she was using the water formula that you can spray, because he's got a few different formulas here. And the water one is the one that you can spray on your skin and it just absorbs right into your skin. And then they have a 45-day oil, a supply, C60 in oil. You can get it in organic sunflower oil, or you can get it in olive oil as well. And she was taking that orally. So probably the duo, combined is pretty impressive too, because it's taking care of her knee on the outside, and then she's taking it orally. So that's incredible. So is she still on the line there, or did we?
Not on the line anymore. But yeah, just basically, if people didn't hear quite too well, she'd only been taking the product a few days, and met Bob in Hawaii, was Uber driving for him, and went to a concert and was able to hear. Usually she was hearing she couldn't hear very well, mainly like she'd just pick up muffled sounds, almost like she had earplugs in or something. Mm-hmm. And she can hear a lot better, and the ringing in her ear is almost completely gone. So
that's incredible.
So yeah, that's the story, and it's great. She actually she bought some of the product to sell it to everybody, and so, and she's just an Uber driver. I guess I get it. You gotta. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. I can hear you.
So she's selling it to everyone. That's what happens when something works for you, right, Sam? Like when something works for you, and then you want to help other people with it because you get super excited about it and it's working for her. That's a true test of believing in the product and having it work for you, is that you want to tell other people about it. And that's kind of the wonderful thing. Let's really quick, can you tell us what C60 is? Tell us what it is for people who haven't heard of it, haven't seen Bob on here before. Maybe you can just tell us what C60 is. Darn it. We're not having good luck today with that. That's okay. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the website here. I think we'll go to c60.com and I'll explain a little bit about what it is. So it's a 99.99% pure super concentrate carbon. And what it does is it essentially works like charcoal. You know, if you've ever known anybody, or maybe even happened to you, when you're drinking too much, there was always that kid in high school, took things too far, right? Had to go to the ER. What do? They shove charcoal down them, right? To get all the poison out, because it works like a magnet. It sticks to the dysfunction, if you will, and it allows it to pull it out of the body. Well, same thing with carbon 60, except for with carbon 60, they have nanomolecules. So the molecules are so tiny that they're able to function at the cellular level, and they target toxification. They target inflammation. And so it brings relief when it comes to pain, when it comes to being toxified, helps the body carry it out of the body. So essentially, that's what C60 does. And Bob's is the best, C60, and I'll tell you why. His is the purest. It's black. See, carbon is black, and there's a lot of other C60 products on the market. But they tend to be different colors because they use chemicals to process it, and those things, they leave the chemical residue in the carbon, and so that's why it turns it colors. Greska's carbon 60 is black, and so it is the purest form of carbon that you can get in C60. So we have hundreds of testimonials from our listeners. Bob has been supporting Naturally Inspired since the very beginning. And so it's wonderful to have that relationship with him and seeing how Greska C60 impacts the people in our audience. Maybe Sam can come back on. I think we have him again, and maybe share a couple of other stories. Hi, Sam. I just did the whole explanation of what C60 is. Yep. So maybe you could share.
Sorry, I guess.
Maybe you could share a couple of other stories of people that have had success. So, Jennifer told us about her ears. I had somebody call me about C60 the other day when it came to teeth, tooth pain. Do you have any stories about that?
Yeah, so we do. C60, what it does is, you went over the whole spiel on it, so I guess I don't have to get too far into it. But it reduces inflammation, and it helps get rid of pain and reduce pain. So we have people who've taken it for tooth pain, just holding it in their mouth. And one customer I was talking to 3 weeks ago. I mean, I guess I don't get people with tooth pain problems all the time, but about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to a customer who took the product, and they said that the C60 almost tasted kind of metallic, and it was right after they got some fillings put in their teeth, one filling put in their teeth, and they're having tooth pain because of that. Their gums were inflamed around the area, like it was like the bottom left. And so we kind of thought maybe it's C60 helping with some of the heavy metals that they put in that stuff. And after, it was about 2 weeks on the product, their pain had gone away, which had lasted a lot longer than their filling. It was something their filling didn't seem to they still had the pain after they went to the dentist.
Mm.
But they said the C60 helped with that, and I guess that's one. Also, I have one other thing that isn't necessarily good for tooth pain, but great for gum health. I showed you, I think, last at your last expo, which was great, but I didn't have really good packaging. So I do now, if you can see that on the screen. So it's the tea I was selling that it actually helps you salivate.
Oh, interesting.
So this is sippy, and of course, you know, a little bit apart from Bob, but he's gone. You know, he's in Florida, so I figured I'd use this to promote a product I do. Bob uses it, I use it, and we have a lot of friends that use it and some customers now. But it is a tea that actually it helps you salivate. So
interesting.
People have dry mouths and stuff like that, and it really helps. So if anybody's interested, they can find it at sippiestea.com. It's just like sippiestea.com. But that stuff's great. It's not as good as Carbon 60, but it's a different category, I guess.
Yeah.
But the tea actually makes you salivate, and when you drink it, you can feel it working. It gives you slight tingling in your mouth, and you can feel it working.
Interesting. And so are your C60 customers using it as well? This is kind of a duo.
Yeah. So I have probably about 20 or 30 people who take C60 that are also drinking the tea now. So it's been good. Awesome. I got better packaging. I think that helped.
What about, can they call you, Sam? Is that the best? What's the best number to call you to ask you about that?
Yeah, I'll always take a call at 303-505-3515. So that's 303-505-3515.
I want to make sure we mention too that Carbon 60 has helped a lot of pets. People have issues with their pets, especially as they get older, with, poor function in the back legs, inflammation. And Bob's always mentioned that it works fantastic on dogs. You can put it on their food and they don't even notice it. I do get a lot of questions about pets. So that's something that works, correct?
Yes, so we have a lot of customers that take it for their pets, especially senior pets, and with it, their pets will be more active, shinier coat, healthier appearance. I give it to my cats. My cats like it, so they don't mind it at all. They don't try to eat around it or anything. So yeah, we have a lot of customers who have it for their pets. We have people who have subscriptions to our product just for the pets. And it seems to be really great for them.
Amazing that sometimes people take better care of their pets than they do their own health. You got to get yourself some Carbon 60.
We have people who take it, who give it to their pets and a couple people who don't even take the product themselves, which I guess I get. That's more me. I mean, if I thought something was going to help my pet, I'd give it to them before I take it myself. I do take some supplements, but for a lot of people, pets are more important. That's kind of for me, more important. I think my pets are more important. I take better care of them than I do of me.
Thank you so much for being on today, everybody. This was Sam Greska. Visit C60.com. Greska's C60 is the best Carbon 60 on the market, in my opinion. So visit C60. Thank you, Sam. C60.com. Use promo code Tammy for a little bit of savings as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.